We hope they will lead to an agreement and a deal that ensures an end to the war on our people, the withdrawal of the occupation forces, and relief for our people. Then we cannot guarantee a return to the format of partial deals or the proposal of the 10 prisoners. But the war criminal Netanyahu and his ministers from the Nazi movement rejected this offer.
Hamas armed wing has issued a fresh warning amid stalled Gaza ceasefire talks. Spokesperson Abu Ubaida said on Friday that Hamas supports a temporary truce, but if current negotiations fail, they may revert to demanding a full ceasefire package to end the war entirely. He claimed Hamas had offered to release all hostages in exchange for a permanent ceasefire, a proposal Israel has consistently rejected. Talks led by Qatar and Egypt, backed by the US, have stretched over 10 days seeking a 60-day ceasefire to halt the devastation in Gaza. In a televised statement, Ubaida said, "We are watching the negotiations closely and hope they lead to an agreement that ends the war and forces the Israeli military to withdraw. But if Israel remains stubborn, we cannot return to partial deals, especially those involving only 10 captives." He added that Hamas backs its negotiators fully and claimed that Israel's leadership, particularly Prime Minister Netanyahu, refuses hostage deals because the captives are soldiers, suggesting Israel has prepared the public for their possible deaths. Ubaida ended by saying Hamas has ensured their survival so far, but warned that could change if progress stalls.
As we closely watch the ongoing negotiations, we hope they will lead to an agreement and a deal that ensures an end to the war on our people, the withdrawal of the occupation forces, and relief for our people. But if the enemy remains stubborn and backs out of this round as it has done every time, then we cannot guarantee a return to the format of partial deals or the proposal of the 10 prisoners. We strongly support the position of the Palestinian Resistance's negotiating delegation in the indirect negotiations with the enemy. We have repeatedly offered over the past months to make a comprehensive deal in which we would hand over all enemy prisoners at once. But the war criminal Netanyahu and his ministers from the Nazi movement rejected this offer. It has become clear to us that they are not concerned about the prisoners since they are soldiers, and that their case is not a priority, and that they have prepared the public and the entity to accept the idea of all of them being killed. But we have insisted on preserving their lives as much as possible until now.
Israel has accused Hamas of failing to match its efforts towards securing a truce and hostage deal. In a statement released after a phone call with Pope Leo, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said that Israel has been working to finalize a hostage release deal and a 60-day ceasefire, but claimed those efforts have not been reciprocated by Hamas. As part of the proposed deal, 10 living hostages would be returned, along with the bodies of 18 others, over the span of 2 months. In return, Israel would release an undisclosed number of Palestinian detainees. However, sources say the talks remain deadlocked.
This is the final day of a historic visit following the historic victory in the war against Iran. What was agreed upon between President Trump and myself regarding issues related to Gaza, the region, and even beyond the region, there will be more to say about that. I would like to begin this day by sending my heartfelt condolences on my own behalf and on behalf of my wife to the family of the victim murdered in Gush Etzion. We have achieved very significant accomplishments in the fight against terrorism, both in Judea and Samaria and in the broader region. But there are also painful costs. I would also like to send, on your behalf as well, a heartfelt and strong embrace to the family of the victim. May God avenge his blood. Yesterday I met with families of hostages whom I invited, both families of hostages who have fallen and those who are still alive. I invited them here so they could be present at the conclusion of the visit, because this does not bring the affair to an end. We are determined to bring everyone back. I told them that. I told them that right now we are trying to achieve the release of half of the living hostages and the fallen in exchange for a temporary ceasefire of 60 days. At the beginning of this ceasefire, we will enter negotiations to end the war permanently, that is, a permanent ceasefire. In order for us to achieve this, it must be done under the minimum conditions we have set. Hamas lays down its arms, Gaza is demilitarized, and Hamas no longer has any governmental or military capabilities. These are our basic conditions. If this can be achieved through negotiations, all the better. If this is not achieved through negotiations within 60 days, we will achieve it by other means, by using force, the force of our brave army. We said the same thing regarding Iran, the removal of the nuclear threat. If this can be achieved in 60 days of negotiations between the United States and Iran, all the better. But if it is not achieved, it will be achieved by other means. I hear the questions coming from the public, from the fighters, from the reservists. Why is this taking so much time? First of all, this is a battlefield that no army in the world has ever faced. And thanks to the bravery of the fighters, thanks to the sacrifice of the fallen, thanks to the tactics, we have reduced and dismantled most of Hamas's military capabilities, but not all of them. There are still thousands of fighters there with weapons, and we want to act, again, through a combination of diplomacy and military force. And military force, if diplomacy does not work in order to complete the mission, we also had an American embargo, not enter Rafah, do not capture the Philadelphia corridor. These are not easy things. We overcame that as well. Now we want to complete the operation. And I remind you that during the past month, the recent months, as we were preparing and ultimately carrying out perhaps the most brilliant military operation in our history, or certainly among the most brilliant that has amazed the entire world, even as this was happening, we continued to advance in the Gaza Strip and to rescue hostages, the fallen, all at the same time. From the very beginning, we have maintained an unwavering commitment to this endeavor, never once relenting or easing our efforts. Our dedication has been absolute and continuous, a persistent force that has driven us forward without interruption. Even at this precise moment, as time progresses, our resolve remains as strong as ever. We are not, and have not been, letting up for even a single instant. This steadfastness is a core principle of our approach, a testament to our enduring commitment to the objectives we have set. Despite this unwavering determination, we encountered significant opposition. They, referring to external parties or authorities, explicitly communicated their disapproval, stating unequivocally, no, thereby rejecting our proposals or efforts. This direct refusal presented a considerable challenge, yet it did not deter our persistent pursuit of our goals.
Israel's military campaign in Gaza has now killed over 58,600 Palestinians, according to Gaza's health authorities. Meanwhile, Israeli figures report around 1,650 Israeli and foreign nationals have been killed in the ongoing conflict, including 1,200 killed in the October 7th Hamas attack.